Welcome back to our own digital learning station, icseprudence coaching. Hello students, you know it very well that in our previous video, we have learned all the most important summary, themes and all remaining points for this poem Abhisara by Rabindranath Tagore. Today we are going to learn about all the classwork question answers. Yes students, you know that whenever we publish our video, we provide you the classwork. In this classwork, we have mentioned the several questions. Today we are going to discuss the answers for those questions which will remain very important for your exams. So let's see these question answers. Now we can see the first question on our screen. Let's start. What inspired Rabindranath Tagore to write the poem Abhisara The Tryst? Tagore was inspired by Buddhist philosophy and the 11th century legend of Upagupta and Vasavadatta. The poem reflects themes of impermanence, spiritual awakening, and compassion, highlighting Tagore's belief in humanistic values over material pleasures. So here basically the poet has highlighted the humanistic values. That means the value to be humane over the materialistic wealth, or we can say the mundane things. Let's begin the next question. The next question is, how does the poem reflect Buddhist teachings? The poem embodies detachment from worldly pleasures, the transcendence of beauty, and the importance of compassion. Upagupta's actions represent the Buddhist principle of selfless service, prioritizing kindness over personal gain. Now we're going to see the third question. Describe the contrast between the two settings in the poem. Here the question answer is the poem contrasts a dark and stormy August night, which we have witnessed in the beginning of the poem, where Upagupta rejects Basavadatta's invitation with a vibrant spring evening in April, where he finds her suffering and shows her kindness. That means shows her kindness means here Upagupta is showing the kindness to this Basavadatta. You know that in the latter half of this poem, we encounter Basavadatta as she is inflicted with the infectious smallpox disease. We have explained it very nicely in our previous video. Those who have not yet watched, you can go through this for a better understanding. Now, this shift illustrates or describes the theme of impermanence and the cycle of fate. Let's go to the next question. Here comes the next question. What is the significance of Upagupta's response to Basavadatta in the first scene? Let's discuss this. Here comes the answer. Upagupta's refusal signifies his spiritual discipline and recognition that everything happens in its own time. His delayed intervention suggests that true compassion arises when it is most needed rather than when it is desired. Now we'll go to the next question. How does Tagore portray the theme of impermanence in the poem? Answer. Tagore contrasts youth and decay, wealth and suffering, and acceptance and rejection, showing that life and beauty are transient. Vasavadatta's downfall emphasizes the fleeting nature of material pleasures. So here, Basavadatta is exclusively depicting the gorgeous costume and her necklace embodied dress. Whereas here, Upagupta was lying like a beggar on the dusty road in the Mathura. So from this, actually, the poet Tagore is trying to signify the impermanence of these worldly pleasures. Now, what role does compassion play in the poem? Compassion is central to the poem, reflected in Upagupta's care for Basavadatta when she suffers. His actions show that true kindness is unconditional. That means, yet true love can also be said. True love is unconditional. True kindness is also unconditional, transcending social barriers and personal desires. Let's go to the next question. How does the change in seasons reflect the transformation in the character's traits? Answer. August represents rejection and loneliness, while April symbolizes suffering and redemption. You know that in the beginning of the poem, the August month is reflected where the stormy weather is being embodied. And in the last phase, where we can have the April or the month of the happiness, it is depicting the suffering and redemption for Basavadatta. The seasonal contrast mirrors the rise and fall of Basavadatta's fortunes and Upagupta's moment of true compassion. Let's go to the next question. Why does Upagupta help Basavadatta in the end, despite rejecting her earlier? Here comes the answer. Upagupta aids Basavadatta when she is in genuine need, illustrating the Buddhist principle of service and detachment. His actions show that help should be given when it is truly matters, rather than when it is convenient. So you generally know that whenever there is a danger in our life, at that moment we need our true friend. Here, Upagupta appeared as an incarnation of God, and he actually showed his immense kindness to Basavadatta to cure her from the infectious disease like smallpox. So it was depicting Upagupta's embodied kindness in his heart. Now we'll go to the next question. What is the symbolic meaning of Mathura as the setting of the poem? Let's come to the answer. Here the answer is Mathura, a sacred city linked to Buddhism and Krishna, symbolizes spiritual transformation. The setting enhances the themes of destiny, suffering, and redemption. Redemption is here actually is salvation, reinforcing Upagupta's role as a figure of wisdom. Do you know who was Upagupta? Upagupta was one of the principal disciples of Buddha himself. Now we'll go to the last question of the day. How does Tagore's adaptation of an ancient legend enhance the poem's universal themes? Here comes the answer. By retelling this historical narrative, Tagore deepens the message of compassion, impermanence, and fate, making it relatable beyond its Buddhist roots. The poem transcends time, highlighting human experiences that remain unchanged. So today we have discussed these 10 most important short questions. In our next video, we'll come up with the 5 marks and 10 marks questions as well. So keep watching and keep improving. If you want any specific topic, you can do the comment and we'll definitely provide you the specific content for yourself. We'll meet soon in our next videos. Till then, keep watching and keep improving. Thanks for watching, dear students. Have a nice time ahead. And if you have been benefited a little bit even from this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this channel because your little motivation will help us to continue our journey. Thanks for watching again. Goodbye, everyone.